Tackling the world of computers can oftentimes feel overwhelming to newcomers. In fact, it can be even more excruciating if you have no idea how to navigate your operating system beyond basic application functions. Learning how to use the file manager is probably the most important step to becoming an enlightened computer guru, and so today's tutorial is going to show you how to tackle one of the more intermediate aspects of your operating system. For this example, we'll be using the Windows 7 Professional Operating System. It is important to note that each version of Windows varies slightly, but for the most part, file management remains the same. Before we get hands-on, let's put a few things into perspective. One of the most important components of your computer is the hard drive. A hard drive essentially stores all of your computer's software information, from the operating system, the applications you use, to the files you save. The hard drive oftentimes holds the largest amount of data on your computer. There are two main types of storage when it comes to saving information: internal and external. Hard drives are oftentimes an internal device, meaning they are found inside the computer, whereas things like USB thumb drives or SD cards are external, meaning you will find them outside of the computer. Because your computer has several ways it can save information, the operating system is designed to identify the different storage devices available. The file manager, which has taken on many different names over the years, allows you several options, which includes deleting, moving, and modifying files that are saved on the computer. It also organizes the different storage devices, oftentimes labeling them with a name and a corresponding letter for each drive. In most cases, your operating system and applications will be stored under what's called the local disk drive and given the letter C. Most applications that you install on the hard drive automatically lay everything out for you so that you will never have to visit the file manager for anything. For example, with Microsoft Word, when you save a document, it will already have a place for you to save your information so that when you come back to Word, you can easily bring the information back up. But where does it go exactly? Let's find out. You may have already noticed that when you save or open a document, additional information surrounds the window. What you are actually seeing in front of you at this moment is the file manager. The application is designed in such a way that you are able to save your files in several places on any storage device of your choice. But how can you access this outside of the application? File Explorer has been coined as the latest term referring to the file manager. You will normally find it as an icon on the desktop that looks like a folder. Clicking this icon opens up the file manager, which will allow you access to the same file that you saw in the Word application. Because Word is set up automatically to save files in the document folder by default, we only need to click the Documents folder located on the left-hand side to access the same file that was saved in Word. For the most part, applications are set up in a way to help keep things organized so that you find what you are looking for as fast as possible. Unfortunately, certain applications are not made so simple and require a little more manual labor on our parts, which is why learning file management is very important. There may be times when you will have to install a program manually. One of the first things you need to know before doing a manual install is where you're going to install the application. Once again, we will click on the Explorer icon. This time we are going to click on the icon that says Computer. Notice that a new screen has appeared on the right-hand side. This new screen shows us all of the storage devices that are available on our computer, which in most cases will give us access to files that have been installed or saved. Now, if you're doing this for the first time, you may get a warning about accessing the drive. This is Microsoft's attempt at keeping you from screwing things up, but you're with me, so don't worry about it and proceed forward. The one we're going to focus on for this example is the local disk. As you might have noticed, there are a few numbers found underneath it. This gives us a quick rundown of how much space we have used and also the space we have available on the hard drive. One of the biggest parts of file management is always making sure you have enough space to install more software. Now let's click on the local disk. As you can see, there are many folders. Some of them have been created by the operating system, others are ones that I have personally done. All these folders that are in place are generally known as target folders. If you recall earlier, the saved file from the Word application goes to the Documents folder. This is basically the role of the target folder, and this is what will be needed when you start doing manual installs of applications. The Program Files folder is mainly where all your application installs reside. While programs that install on your computer are usually targeted as the Program Files folder, there are certainly some cases where the applications folder goes directly on the local disk hard drive itself. As you might have guessed, the Windows folder is where the operating system files reside and should be off limits unless you know exactly what you're doing. Another folder that is of great importance to you is the user folder. As the name implies, this folder is tied directly to your username and is often the location that you will find your folder with files that you have downloaded from the internet. The file manager is there to keep everything tidy and off of your desktop, but I'm sure you are a bit curious as to how you will manually be able to run a file from it. Let's take a quick look at an emulator application that I manually installed. I decided to go with the Dolphin emulator for this example. As you might have already noticed, there are some very different looking files within this folder, but you only need to concern yourself with one for now. You might have already guessed the file in question is named Dolphin, but there is certainly more information besides the name itself that clues us into why this file is so important. Look at this area here. The operating system can automatically determine each file's purpose. As you can see, the Dolphin file is an application, which simply means that when we click on the file, it will open like any other application that we have on our desktop. Because this emulator was installed manually, it will not create an icon that you can easily click on in the desktop, which means we have to create one. We do not want to physically move the file from the folder, as that might affect the application's ability to run properly. Instead, we'll create a simple shortcut which will easily be able to move to the desktop. Right-clicking on the Dolphin name will bring up a small menu. Click the Create Shortcut option. Doing so will generate a new icon called Dolphin Shortcut. From here, we now just have to click on the shortcut and drag it to the desktop, and we are all done. You can rename it if you would like to make it a bit more presentable, but it's totally up to your preference. Hopefully you now have a wider understanding of how your computer works. We'll be going over more concepts to help you with using emulators and manually installing applications in our next video, so be sure to take a look for more information. For now, this is Decor 3, your entertainment techie, signing out.